Hello and welcome to Edukemy's YouTube channel. My name is Harsh Singh and in this video we shall discuss the feature news for 27th August 2021. It is on informal sector in waste management. Only yesterday we studied the solid waste management system. However, we purposefully skipped the article for informal sector participation. You know why? Because in developing economies, informal sector participates in a very huge manner in the management of the waste. And therefore, in this article, we will understand in details what is the whole system of solid waste management with the help of informal sector. This is one. We will also understand how informal sector gets affected in multiple ways, and we will later discuss what is the way we can reform this whole situation. Many of us will be able to relate to the kind of waste that we generate at homes. We generate paper waste, plastic waste and glass bottles. In fact, a lot of this waste is treated, it is recycled. In fact, 30 to 60% of paper waste is recycled in our country, and plastic waste around 50 to 80% is recycled. Almost 100% of these glass bottles are recycled. And you know who actually helps in recycling of this waste? It is the wage picker. The wage picker or the kabadi wala, the kachre wala, right? In fact, they are not the kachre wala. We are the kachre wala. They are the ones, they are the safai walas. They are the ones who actually help clean our whole system. But you would be shocked to know that the number of children in this rag picking business is very high. The proportion is such that in Delhi, around 20% of the street children are in rag picking. Some of us would disagree and say that no, in my municipal region, there is a vehicle which comes and it manages the whole waste. However, I will prove you wrong. Now, let us see how the whole solid waste is generated and whole supply chain of it. Now, at home, we generate the waste, and at some places, the rickshaw wala comes, and at some places, the individuals come to collect the waste. And this is the first place where the high value solid waste is segregated. Which are the high value solid waste? Just the ones that we discussed right above, right? Plastic bottles, and then we have plastic products, paper, and the glass products, right? So they generate a lot of wealth for the waste pickers. They generate a lot of wealth because of recycling, and after that these people dump the waste at a municipal site, right? A small municipal site in the city itself. Some people would say that no, we have these vehicles, municipal vehicles coming to us. These vehicles collect the dump and they dump the same at the municipal site again, and this is where the rag pickers again come and they start to segregate the items. So this is the first level they segregate. After that, a huge vehicle comes, a government vehicle comes, and it takes all the items from various of these sites and it takes the whole product, all the dust and solid waste, to a landfill site. This is where it is all spared because government mechanism for solid waste is not very effective, and the wage pickers again they come and they start to segregate the items based on their quality and based on the amount of the money it will fetch. So where was the system? The system was all informalized, right? This is how the system is, and in fact, if you keep seeing images of waste management, you will always see these people, these rag pickers, the people, the safai walas. Being an Indian, being a person from developing country, we will not be able to refuse that there is a huge participation of informal sector in management of the waste in India. However, have you ever imagined what kind of impact does it have on them? What is the impact on their living condition? Where do they live? They live in slums. What are their working conditions? They are extremely poor, right? Is this what we envisaged in the constitution? Never, right? What about their income source? This is highly unstable. Also, what about the losses to the government? Imagine these people are not the assets for the government, although they are doing a great activity and there is a lot of regard inside us for them. However, they may not be the healthy human resources and government will have to spend on them, right? What about waste mafia? There is a huge waste mafia which is managing the business. In fact, Mumbai city has around 500 plus trucks which are running in and out every day handling this waste product. And there is an income generation of 250 to 500 crore in Mumbai itself. So this is the kind of mafia we are talking of, and nothing is taxed, nothing is under the government supervision, right? Therefore, we also need to look at the social impact, right? A particular community is the one which is responsible in this kind of action, right? Helping, right? And there is a systemic marginalization of this community. Not only that, a lot of people who are engaged in this kind of informal worker, right? They are child laborers. We just understood that Delhi has around 20% of these street children in this kind of business, right? So there is a lack of social security. Exploitation is at multiple levels: physical, economic, sexual, and what about the health hazard of these people? What kind of water do they drink? Where do they live? What kind of air do they breathe? Only yesterday we understood that these kind of landfill sites, they release methane, right? There is toxic water present in this kind of area. So you can well imagine the impact on this kind of community, the informal workforce, which are also a power, but also not an effective power for the country. In this regard, let me quickly take you back to our Gazette featured news for today, right? It speaks about what is informal sector. Now, informal sector is the one which is neither organized, nor financed, nor contracted, nor taxed or reported, right? And we have discussed the whole supply chain, the same supply chain that we just spoke of, how the waste is generated and how the paper, recycled paper, they're all sent to the junk shop. And if the item is not segregated, it is taken by the municipal vehicle, it is again segregated by the same rat pickers. And after that, it is sold to kabadiwala, and then the whole system is such that it goes to the landfill. So this is what is the image about, right? And you can see the levels at which these informal workers are engaged at. So itinerant waste buyer are the people who keep moving from one home to another, and they buy the waste products, right? 12 rupee per kilo for the newspapers that we have never studied, right? So that's the reason that we have a PDF of Gazette, right? You don't have to create such kind of waste, right? The street waste pickers, right? So these are the people, and then we have collection vehicles, and people pick up from that as well. And what about the dump and landfill sites? People go there and again pick up the waste. So the main idea to tell you is that their participation is at multiple levels. And we already understood the kind of impact it has on their life, economic impact and social impact. The whole description of the same is presented here, right? And what can be done about it? See, yesterday only I showed you this image, right? This image talks about the process in which solid waste is managed. We want to reduce and reuse. This is the first stage. The second one is recycling. The third one is composting, waste to energy generation, and after that, landfill sites. So this is the ideal way, and the whole process should be mechanized. We should try to compose the waste. We should ensure that biomethanation, refuse-derived fuel system, decentralized management, funding and participation of people should be there, right? We discussed all this yesterday. However, where is the informal sector welfare coming here? It is not. Therefore, the main idea should be to identify these kind of workers and include them in the financial setup. The idea must be to have a participation of social enterprises, for example, corporate social responsibilities and urban local bodies in the management of informal sector, right? Training and awareness, right? People should be wearing gloves if at all they are rat picking and collecting this kind of waste. The government and NGOs should participate in awareness generation and welfare of this kind of people. So the suggestions are the usual ones, but the problem is the one that has to be identified, and we discuss that in details. How I approach this kind of issue, informal workers in the sector of solid waste management, is from the perspective of the Constitution. Did Constitution guarantee them this kind of job? No. Did Constitution guarantee them this kind of working condition? No. And therefore, our stand should be very clear that this is inhumane. This kind of working is inhumane, and this is not the kind of employment that India deserves, that the people of India deserve. In this context, all I want you to do is take 30 seconds off, pause this video, and think about the various perspectives to solid waste management and the participation of informal workers in this solid waste management is done, right? Think about it, and after that you can attend this question. What are the modes of involvement of the informal sector in solid waste management? So various modes of involvement, you have to discuss that, and after that discuss the socio-economic impact of informalization of the waste management system. So very important and relevant question. Even if you're not answering, I would like you to think about the various points about the introduction and conclusion for your potential answer. If you like this video, if you like our effort, share some love on us through likes, comments and shares. And if you subscribe to our channel, you will receive timely updates of the videos. Thanks for watching.